Well, howdy there, folks. This is Steve and Marianne, and this is another edition of Road Trippin'. But this time we're not going in one of our classic cars. We're riding the rails, the good old Amtrak. Yeah, we're going to be going north from LA up to Olympia, Washington, as usual, to see my mom. And we're going to be riding the Coast Starlight. This is one of the finest railroad rides you can ever have. It takes you through places that the only way you'll ever see them is on the railroad. Now, the Coast Starlight is part of what the continuation, I guess I should say, of what was the Daylight, one of the most famous and the most beautiful train in the world that ran from the Southern Pacific from the 1930s up into the 1960s, up the coastline, all the way to San Francisco. And then there was the Shasta Daylight that ran up to Portland. Amtrak took it all over and called it the Coast Starlight. Sadly, its nickname is the Coast Starlight because it doesn't generally run on time. We were pretty lucky this trip up. We were only 6 minutes late into Olympia because some poor trespasser, as the Amtrak delicately put it, came into contact with the train. And of course, you can buy our books at www.mccarthypicks.com. We appreciate it if you do. Now, this trip is a little bit different. As I said, we're taking the train. We did not take just the chair car. This time we did a roomette. And roomettes, boy, I want to say the emphasis is on the "et." They are kind of tiny. But the advantage is you get your own space. You got a door you can close and a curtain you can close. And it's pretty neat. And the view from them, as you can see, that's us getting on up high above. That's where your view is going to be. So you see over most everything that you'd ever see from a car or a bus. And like I said, you get to see places that you're never going to see anywhere else. Now, you do have a couple of options. You've got the coach, which is very large, comfy seats, and it's only one night up, so it's not too horrible. This is the roomette, and like I said, that emphasis is on "et." There's two chairs facing each other. They don't recline, and up above is a pull-down bunk. Man, if you're not 20 years old and about 150 pounds lighter than I am, don't try it. I tried it the first night and darn near killed me. But still, meals are included. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And the food on the train is exceptional. None of this reheated garbage you get on an airplane, not a bag of peanuts, but actual flat iron grilled steak cooked in the kitchen below the dining car. You share tables with people. You get to chit chat with them, find out who they are, and they talk with you. It's the most pleasant way of traveling north that there is. Now, one of the keys, in booking the train so you get the right spot is remember the old term posh, which came from the sailing ship days of the British Empire going out to India, and it's port out, starboard home. The port side of the ship was the best side going to India because that's where the winds blew through, and you blew all the stench and the stink of the ship out the other side, and on the way home, starboard. So as you go from LA north, you want to be on the left side of the train going up and the right side of the train going down. So when you make your bookings, talk with an agent there, the Amtrak agent, make sure that's what you get. Because that's way you see these beautiful, beautiful coastline views all the way up. Here we are rounding Rincon Point. Just such a beautiful view of everything. It was a bit gray. This was in late May, so we had the May gray and going on into the June gloom. But it's still worth seeing. Once you hit about Oxnard, Ventura, you begin to pick up the coast, and you roll through Ventura, right along the beaches, up to Carpinteria. There's good old Carpinteria, and one of our favorite spots, The Spot. Great little hamburger stand, been there since the 60s, and I remember when I was a kid, we'd camp out there at the beach, and we'd all walk over there with all the other teens and wannabe teens, and we'd hang out. That was the hangout spot. The next big stop is Santa Barbara. It's a place you can get out, you can stretch your legs if you have to have a smoke. But this is the beginning of the neat stuff, because from Santa Barbara north to, well, about Pismo Beach, a little south of Pismo Beach, you have nothing but coastline. You have the Hollister Ranch as you go around from Gaviota all the way around Point Conception. This is the only way you'll ever see it unless you're really, really, really rich and you might have a place or know somebody up there. And this is spectacular. Way back when the Southern Pacific first connected Frisco to LA, this was known as the Gap. And the trains would pull into Maddie's Tavern in Los Olivos. You'd have to get off, take a stagecoach over the San Marcos Pass. There was no bridge, so it was down at the bottom and back up again. And you'd stop at Cold Spring Tavern. That's another place we mentioned in our road trip books. But now, since about 1905 or so, they closed the Gap with this absolutely spectacular piece of coastline. So, sit back, relax, and we'll even have some old-timey railroad tunes to entertain you. Enjoy the trip.
All that back smoke will rise from that 1045. You can hear the whistle for 900 miles. Oh, the 1045 going right on down the line. Let's put it on. Oh, I'm going down the track, bring my little woman back. I'm tired of living this old way. If my woman says so, I'll railroad no more. I'll stop, break my plane and go home. Where are you going, boy? Where are you going? I don't know, but I'm on my way. Oh, I'm going down the ties with these tears in my eyes, trying to read a letter from my home. If I die, railroad man, you can bury me in the sand, so I can hear whistle for 900 miles. 1045. Casey said she dreamt a dream. The night she bought a sewing machine. Her needle got broke, she could not sew. She loved Mr. Casey 'cause she told me so, told me so. She loved Mr. Casey 'cause she told me so. When Mr. Casey walked out to Nelson Lane, there were two police who wanted to learn his name. They take Mr. Casey to the station house. He's a natch bone round and they turn him out, turn him out. He's a natch bone round and it. I sold my gin, I sold it straight. The police rung to my woman's gate. She come to the door, she nodded her head. She said, "Fur, you're welcome to my folding bed, my folding bed. Fur, you're welcome to my folding bed." Lord, people said, "Casey, you run over time. You're gonna have enough conclusion with that 109. A Casey said, "This evening is mine. I will run it in glory lest I make mine time." Told all the fatness better keep yourself here, 'cause we gonna shake it like Cheney did, like Cheney did. Lord, we gonna shake it like Cheney did. When the conductor, he holler, "Hello." The fireman, he holler all aboard. The people tell about a thought of moan. The man at the thought of Mr. Casey Jones, Lord Casey Jones. When Casey come one morning round the rail, they tell people I never see it fail. I'm going down, I'm gonna hit this trail, 'cause I'm 8 hours late with this big black trail. I'm on the road again. Lord, 8 hours late with this big black trail. On the road again.
On a Monday morning it began to rain. Round the curve come a passenger train. On the blinds was Hobo John. He's a good old hobo, but he's dead and gone. Dead and gone. He's dead and gone. He's a good old hobo, but he's dead and gone. Jay Gould's daughter said before she died, "Papa fixed the blinds so the bums can't ride. If ride they must, they gotta ride the rod. Let 'em put their trust in the hands of God, in the hands of God, in the hands of God. Let 'em put their trust in the hands of God." Jay Gould's daughter said before she died, "2 more trains I'd like to ride." Jay Gould said, "Daughter, what can it be? There's the Southern Pacific and the Santa Fe, Santa Fe, and the Santa Fe. There's the Southern Pacific and the Santa Fe." Jay Gould's daughter said before she died, "There's 2 more drinks I'd like to try." Jay Gould said, "Daughter, what can it be? A glass of water and a cup of tea, cup of tea, and a cup of tea. There's a glass of water and a cup of tea." Charlie Snyder was a good engineer. Told his firemen not to fear. Said, "Pour on your water, boys, shovel on your coal, stick your head out the window, see the drivers roll, the drivers roll, see the drivers roll." Stick your head out the window, see the drivers roll. See the drivers roll. See the drivers roll. Stick your head out the window, see the drivers roll. Railroad Bill, he never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, he was a mighty mean man. He shot the midnight landing from the brakeman's hand. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill took my wife, said if I did not like it, he would take my life. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, he never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Going up on the mountain, going out west, 38 special sticking out of my vest. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Gonna get me a pistol just as long as your arm. Kill everybody ever done me harm. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Got a 38 special on a 45 frame. How in the world can I miss them when I got dead aim? I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, he never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Honey, think I'm a fool. Think I would quit you while the weather is cool. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Railroad Bill, he never worked and he never will. I'm gonna ride old Railroad Bill. Ride old Railroad Bill.
Aboard the ride, done got right. I hate about line and track. These old bars about to break my back. Oh, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Oh, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Oh, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Cielo, we go line and track. Moses stood on the Red Sea shore, smoting that water with a 2x4. I hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. I hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. I hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Cielo, we go line and track. If I could, I surely would stand on the rock where Moses stood. I hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. I hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. I hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Cielo, we go line and track. Maybe the baby's lying in the shade, thinking on the money that I ain't made. I hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Hope, boys, can't you line up? Chack-a-lack. Cielo, we go line and track. Wow.
Freight train, run so fast. Freight train, run so fast. Please don't tell for a train I'm on. They won't know what route I'm on. When I am dead and in my grave, Chestnut Street, so I can hear old number 9 as she comes rolling by. When I die, Lord, bury me deep, way down on old Chestnut Street. Place the stone at my head and feet. Tell 'em all that I'm gone to sleep.
Early in the morning at 7 o'clock, there are 20 terriers a-drilling at the rock, and the boss comes around and he says, "Keep still. Come down heavy on your cast iron drill and drill ye terriers drill. Drill ye terriers drill, well you work all day for the sugar in your tea. Down behind the railway and drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire." Now our new foreman was Jim McGann. By golly, he was a blinking man. Last week a premature blast went off, and a mile in the sky went big Jim Goff. And drill ye terriers drill, drill ye terriers drill, well you work all day for the sugar in your tea. Down behind the railway and drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire. Now when next payday come around, Jim Goff $1 short was found. When asked the reason came this reply: "You were docked for the time you were up in the sky." And drill ye terriers drill, drill ye terriers drill, well you work all day for the sugar in your tea. Down behind the railway and drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire. Now the boss was a fine man down to the ground, and he married a lady 6 feet round. She baked good bread and she baked it well, but she baked it as hard as the holes in, well, drill ye terriers drill, drill ye terriers drill, well you work all day for the sugar in your tea. Down behind the railway and drill ye terriers drill, and blast and fire. And drill ye terriers drill.
This song is called Zach, the Mormon Engineer. It was sung in polygamous days in Utah. Old Zach, he came to Utah way back in 73. A right good Mormon gentleman, and a bishop too was he. He drove a locomotive for the D&RG. With women he was popular as could be. And when he'd whistle, woo, woo, Mama'd understand that Zach was headed homeward on the Denver and Rio Grande. Old Zach, he had a wifey in every railroad town. No matter where he stopped, he had a place to lay him down. And when his train was coming, he wanted her to know. So as he passed each wifey's home, his whistle he would blow. And when he'd whistle, woo, woo, Mama'd understand that Zach was headed homeward on the Denver and Rio Grande. Old Zack, he claimed to love his wives and love 'em all the same, but always little Mabel was the one that Zack would name. And as he would pass her, he'd blow his whistle loud, and when she'd throw a kiss at him, old Zack would look so proud. And when he'd whistle, woo, woo, Mama'd understand that Zack was headed homeward on the Denver and Rio Grande. Now listen, everybody, because this story's true. Old Zack, he had a wife in every town that he passed through. They tried to make him transfer on to the old UP, but Zack said no, because his wives were on the DNRG. And when he'd whistle, woo, woo, Mama'd understand that Zack was headed homeward on the Denver and Rio Grande.
Where you going, Colin? Down to Logan, North Carolina, boy. Oh, yeah.
And we're coming to the end of our trek here, at least this clip of it. Last few minutes of the coast, and then we'll be hitting San Luis Obispo. We cut out some of the journey there between Guadalupe and San Luis Obispo. But I hope you all had a good time just kicking back and watching the seaside roll by and listening to some old-timey railroad tunes. So remember, this is Steve and Marianne, and we're road tripping. This time we're railroad tripping. And you can get all our good stuff at www.mccarthypicks.com. There we are, San Luis Obispo, all out for San Luis Obispo, but it's not the end of the line. And again, thanks for joining us.